Okay, today is January 13th, 2012. Chapter 8 review. We're going to start by taking up the quiz. I've given you some time to work on questions 1 to 12. Very first question in the quiz says that triangle ABC, angle A is 90, angle B is 30, and side B is 10. Because angle A is 90, what does that mean in terms of our trig formulas? Which ones can we use to solve this? Ratios. Yeah. The primary trig ratios we can use. We don't actually have to use sine or cosine. Okay? So it's a lot more basic to use one of these ratios. We're going to draw this triangle quickly. So it is a right angle triangle, and we know that angle A is 90 degrees, which means side A is our hypotenuse. Angle B is 30, so we're going to call this 30. And side B would be opposite angle B, according to what we've done when setting this up, and we'll just call the other one C. The question says to solve the hypotenuse. Since the hypotenuse is side A, we're looking for A in this question. Now, for the angle I have, 30 degrees, I have the opposite measurement, and I'm looking for the hypotenuse. So what ratio uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. Okay? Sine x is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So sine 30 degrees, that's our angle, is equal to the opposite side is 10, and we're looking for A in this case. Okay. We're going to bring A to the other side of the equation, which means we're going to get A is equal to A times sine 30. Is equal to 10. And then to get A by itself, I would divide both sides of the equation by sine 30. Okay. If you can go right from the first step to this next step, A is equal to 10 divided by sine 30, that's fine. If you can do parts of that in your head. Okay. So, sine 30. 30 sine is equal to 1.9, repeat it. I would assume is that right? That does not seem right. Okay, so we fix the calculator, it's 0.5. So 10 divided by 0.5, A is equal to 20 centimeters. Okay, so our hypotenuse was 20 in that question. Okay, question 2. Similar idea, triangle C, D, and E. Side C is 3 centimeters. Side D is 4 centimeters. And side E is 5 centimeters. Okay? So we only have the sides. We do not know if it's a right angle triangle. Okay? The question asks us to solve for angle D. So we're looking for angle D. We're going to draw this triangle out, and we're going to try to figure out which of the laws to use. The reason we're going to use the laws, we don't know if this is a right angle triangle or not. So we'll call this C, which means this is 3. This will be our angle D, which means this is 4 centimeters. And E, which means this is 5 centimeters. Okay. We're looking for angle D in this question. Angle D is opposite of side D. Now, sine law is usually easiest, but in order to do sine law, what do I need to have? I need to have an angle and an opposite side. I need to have a complete ratio. Okay? Do I have that for any of these? No, so I cannot use sine law. I'm going to be using cosine law, and I'm going to be solving for the angle in the question. Okay? So we're going to use our cosine law. We have our cosine law here. Now, it's very important. The letters in our cosine law are A, B, and C. Letters in our triangle are E, D, C. I told you guys that whatever we're looking for, whether it's the angle or the side, we're always going to name that part of the triangle C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this triangle. Maybe I'll redraw it also, just so it makes a little bit of sense. we need to redraw and rename this triangle so that we can put it into our cosine law. So the important side is the C. We're looking for this angle here, which was opposite of 4 centimeters. So that's going to be recalled angle C and side C. The A and the B aren't as important, so I'll call this A, which means this is now A. And we'll call that B, which means this is now B. Okay? Now we're going to plug it in once we've renamed the triangle. The second triangle is the important one here because we're solving for a C in this question. So side C is 4 centimeters, so we get 4 squared is equal to 3 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 3 times 5 cos angle C. We're looking for that variable. This is 16 is equal to 9 plus 25 minus 30 cos C. 9 plus 25 is 34. 16 is equal to 34 minus 30 cos C. Now remember I told you I cannot combine 34 minus 30 because this is technically 30 times cos C. Think of cos C as being in brackets. So I'm going to bring 34 to the other side of the equation. We get 16 subtract 34 is equal to negative 30 cos C. 16 subtract 34 is negative 18. Equals negative 30 cos C. I need to get cos C by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by negative 30. Negative 18 divided by negative 30, 0.6 cos C. When I bring cos C to the other side, I got to invert cos, so I get cos inverse 0.6 is equal to C. C is equal to 53 degrees. Okay? So the angle we're looking for was 53 degrees. Question 3. Again, they've given us triangle FGH. Now this one was out of 4. That's supposed to be a hint because you had to do a little extra work to solve this one. F is 30 degrees. Side F is 10 centimeters. Side G was 18 centimeters. Okay. Again, we have no proof this is a right angle triangle, so we're just going to set this up. We're going to name it FGH. Okay. F is 30 degrees, which means this side is 10 centimeters. And G is this side, which is 18 centimeters. The question asks you to solve for side H. Okay? Now, I don't have either of the measurements on side H. Okay? I can't even put this into sine law. I do have this ratio, so I know I'm going to be using sine law. So what I needed to do is I need to solve for the opposite angle G, then knowing that a triangle adds up to 180, find angle H, then use sine law again to find side H. That's the process we're going to go through. So I'm going to set this up. We're going to be using our sine law for this question. I can rename it ABC, and we'll call this A, B, and C. Okay? And go from there. So we're going to have the ratio for side A. There you go. So sine 30 divided by 10 is equal to sine B, which is that angle, divided by 18. And we don't have anything for C. So clearly we don't use that part of the ratio. We're only using these two. I need to get sine B by itself. So I'm going to move 18 to the other side. 18 times sine 30 divided by 10 is equal to sine B. Okay. Now I can work out everything in here. Some of your calculators would be smart enough. What I'm going to do is before I work this out, I'm actually going to move sine over to the other side. When I move sine over, what does it have to become? Sine inverse. So sine inverse of all of that. 18 sine 30 divided by 10. Okay? So, yeah, it does make it more complicated. Some of you guys will be able to put that right into your calculator and it will solve for you. Okay? If you did it one step at a time, I'm completely fine with that. Because of time, we're going to keep going. I'm going to tell you G is going to be 64.15, so approximately 64 degrees. So now that that is 64 degrees, what is H? Take 180, subtract 30, which is 150, subtract 64, gives us 86 degrees. Now that I have 86 degrees, I can set up sine law, or the sine C like we talked about earlier, to solve for side H. So we're going to scroll down a little. Sine 30 divided by 10 is equal to, we have sine 64, we just solved for that. Divided by 18 is equal to sine 86 divided by H. That's what we're solving. I can use either these two together, or I can use these two together because I have full ratios for both of these, okay? I'm not going to do both of them, so I'm going to drop one off. For interest's sake, just in case I made some kind of rounding problem, this is like an insurance, I'm going to take this one out, okay? Because technically I solved for that 64. I'm going to use the givens they've given me before. So sine 30 divided by 10 is equal to sine 86 divided by H. We're going to cross multiply. So we get H times sine 30. Anyone remember what sine 30 is going to be? What was it, Anderson? That was 0.5. We just solved that earlier. It's 0.5, okay? So I'm going to move sine over now because we have to isolate H. We're going to divide both sides by sine 30. We're going to get H is equal to sine 86 times 10. I'm going to tell you sine 30 is 0.5, so I'm going to equate it right here. And then using our calculator, you would plug everything in. You would get 19.95, or approximately 20 centimeters. Okay? Yeah, it means approximately. All right, this question here, I want you guys to recognize right away. 90 degrees, that means in a right angle triangle, I can use these ratios. So we're going to draw a diagram very quickly here. Okay. This is angle D. We'll call this C, so this makes this side C. And we're going to call this E, which makes this side E, 5 centimeters. Okay. So right away, I know I can use Pythagorean's theorem to solve for the hypotenuse. 3 squared plus 5 squared is equal to D squared. That gives me 9 plus 25 is equal to D squared. 34 is D squared. Root 34 is D. D is equal to 5.83 centimeters. Okay? If you round it to 6, I may have given it to you. I don't remember. Okay, now the question said to solve for the entire triangle, which means I needed to solve for one of these angles also. So let's say I'm solving for angle C. I have the adjacent and the opposite side, which means I will use tangent. X is equal to, adjacent is 5, opposite is 3. We get tan x, or sorry, what I'm going to do, so I'm going to move tan to the other side very quickly. So we get tan inverse of 5 divided by 3. So 5 divided by 3, tan inverse, 59. Some people round it to 60. That's fine. So X, or C in this question, angle C, was 59, which meant, according to our addition and subtraction, angle E would be 31 degrees. because a triangle adds up to 180. So, very last question on your quiz. Number 4. Triangle FGH. Angle F, 40 degrees. Angle H, 9 meters. Not angle, side H. And side G, 9 meters. Oh, okay. So let's draw this out. I have 2 measurements that are the same. Let's just double check what that's going to look like when we go to name our triangle. Don't worry. We'll call this F, H, and G, which means this is 40 degrees. This is side G, which is 9 meters. Side H, which is 9 meters. So what type of triangle is this? This is an isosceles triangle. These are the same, which means these 2 angles here, angle H is equal to angle G. So I take 180, subtract 40, that gives me 140 degrees. I have 140 degrees to split between these 2. 140 divide 2. Each of those angles are 70 degrees. So angle H and angle G are 70 degrees. Now, is this a right angle triangle? No. So I still do need to solve for side F. Because I have complete ratios, I'm going to use sine law to solve for side F. Instead of renaming, I'm going to quickly throw these in the interest of time. Sine, you have enough? Yeah, you have enough information to use cosine also. So sine 70 over 9 is equal to sine 70 over 9. That's 2 of them, which is equal to sine 40 over F. These are both the exact same, so it really doesn't matter which we'll use. I'll take this one off. We have sine 70 over 9 is equal to sine 40 over F. We cross multiply, just like we've been doing before. F times sine 70 is equal to 9 times sine 40. Divide both sides by sine 70. These cancel out. F is equal to, and when you put that all together and calculate it, it becomes 6.15 meters.